let's talk about the triple duty, starring, writing, directing, the specific challenge to taking it all on. Was this like a sleepless experience for you?
Kind of, yeah. This is definitely the most I've ever worked on anything. But the cool thing is not only is it the hardest I've ever worked on something, it's the most I've ever brought of myself to it. To be honest, this is an extremely personal movie. And though your audience will be like, what the hell is he talking about until they see the movie, though this poster looks insane, it really is a love letter to my kids. I never intended on, directing and writing a horror movie. It was really about this family. So I got this script, the original script, 3 weeks after we had our second daughter. So I was in a wide open emotional place. And reading this story about a family that would do whatever it takes to protect their kids was exactly where I was. And so I don't think I could have been a better candidate. So to your point, all these jobs became a lot easier. When you look at them as individual jobs, it's really overwhelming. But this movie meant so much to me that all of a sudden I was so thankful to have all those jobs because I was protecting it in all these different ways.
And it really does find that as a parent, it's like that urge that you have to protect
Yeah.
and whatever, and then it just sort of pounces on that insecurity the whole time.
Drills it. Yeah, exactly.
So did you know American Sign Language before? Was this something that...
I remember when we were growing up in elementary school and middle school, we learned a little bit of sign language, but certainly not anything to be able to communicate. So for me, probably my biggest regret in the movie, if I'm honest, is that I didn't learn more. I mean, we learned it for all the scenes. We learned a little bit extra to communicate with Millie. But overall, I don't know if there's a more beautiful language in the world. And I mean that, and there's so many great languages. But seeing her basically paint through the air with all these images and ideas is so incredible. And I was moved to be able to do it in a movie.
That is a really good way of putting it. The painting, there's an expressiveness.
Absolutely,
that is really quite beautiful. You're right about that. So working with your wife, the dynamic there. Tell me about how that works in. I mean, and there's obviously the joking like, working together, but truly,
the
director-actor relationship is something.
Listen, there's an intensity to movie making. There's an intensity to working that closely with your partner that I do understand the jokes of like, oh my God, you might get divorced, and we are. No, the truth is we were really nervous about it. And I think that the reason why we were nervous about it is because we each have our own process and we didn't know how they were going to link up. And, she's a really good actress, and the reason why she's good is she does her own thing. And yet at this point, or when we decided to do it, we had to be honest with each other. And so what I said was, let's be as honest about the movie as we are with our marriage. Let's talk about everything. So right now, tell me, is there anything you want to change in the script? And I pitched her the whole idea of what I was going to shoot. Is there anything that I'm going to shoot that you don't agree with? And then she said, that's fine. And then for me, she said, don't let me, don't just move on from a scene because I'm your wife, you don't want me to tell me to do it again or anything like that. And so it was this really nice, honest relationship that by the time we actually got to shooting, we had talked it all out. We were ready to go. Yeah.
That's got to be uniquely, maybe like satisfying to go in that way.
So
right?
satisfying, yeah.
So look, The Office, real life drama is like 13 hours. Now this, different genres. Do you have another genre that you're anxious to get to? Or like, how do you view that kind of thing?
I mean, it's really not purposeful. And I feel so lucky to be jumping into all these genres. It's not purposeful. The truth of the matter is, with The Office, doing a comedy for that long, I really got every opportunity in the business is from that show. So really, it wasn't about running away from that show. It was actually trying to make good on all this opportunity that I was given. I was given such a huge chance that I didn't want to just sit back and be the guy who waited to do another comedy. I wanted to try all this new stuff. And trust me, I said, if I ever do something where I'm not good, don't let me do it again. Mm-hmm. So if I keep trying new things, it's just more for me to explore myself and what I can do.